Yo, what's up guys, it's your boy Sami here. Today we are gonna see, what if Naruto has the store release Chakra, part 2, hope you'll enjoy this video. So before we start please subscribe to our channel, and like this video. So let's get into the video. Hospital. Anko-chan, I said I was sorry, can you please send your snakes away, you are not even supposed to be moving. Naruto replied, wrapped up in snakes to the neck. No, you got me all wet, and not the good kind. You even messed up my favorite trench coat with your storm release circuit. The bandage cover, Anko says, waving her hand childishly. Anko-chan, if you release your snakes I'll take you out on a date to anywhere you like. In an instant all the snakes puff away in smoke, and Anko can be seen smiling brightly. You promise, Naruto-kun? It's a promise of a lifetime. He says, giving her a thumbs up. Well, tomorrow when I get out of the hospital at 8 PM I would like to go somewhere in the red light district, where they all worship you, even the Yakuza. She says with a bright smile still on her face. Well, do you have a specific place in mind that you would like to go to? He asked her with a raised eyebrow. Well, can you get us into the Raging Fox? It's a new restaurant that just opened up. Speaking of fox, where is that fox you had during the test? She says, looking around for it. Oh, her name is Kasumi, and she is back at my apartment probably sleeping. He says with a laugh. Naruto apartment. We can see Kasumi in nothing but one of Naruto's big shirts and red socks sliding across the place, singing with a makeshift microphone in her hand. He licks me like a lollipop. Shorty wants a thug. Back to hospital. Yeah, she can be really lazy sometimes. He said with a laugh. But don't worry about that, Anko-chan, I'll go set everything up and get some more training. You know you also have to go to the meeting later, so remember that. He then gets up and kisses her on the forehead, getting a little blush from her. Then he goes to the window and flies off. Anko can only sigh her situation. Man, I really think I am starting to fall in love with plushie-kun. That makes her blush, but then she remembers the meeting. I am going to lose so much face at that place when I tell them how he beat me. She says, crying in I'm tears. Streets of Konoha. Naruto has just landed from his flight and starts walking to the red light district, getting the usual looks of hatred from the older adults, while some ninjas give him nods of respect, while the kids still stare at him in awe because he can fly, while the girls eye him like a piece of meat. The ball bounces in front of his path, and 5 kids come to get it. Hello kids, did you lose this? He says kindly. The kids recognize him, and all get stars in their eyes. A brown-haired girl walks up to him and asks, Hey, you're the guy who can fly, can you take us flying please? She says, giving him the puppy dog eyes and quivering lips. Oh man, even the kids know this must look away, but I can't. He then drops his head in defeat. Fine, but you need to ask your parents first. He tells them. They run off to their parents and ask, Ka-chan, can we go flying with that guy? The parents look at Naruto with hatred, but decide to let it happen for their kids' sake. Fine, but nothing better will happen to our kids, or you are gonna get it. Naruto only rolls his eyes at their weak eye. Nothing will happen to your kids. I am a professional. He says with a grin. The kids run to him with bright smiles. Shadow clone. The blonde proclaimed. 4 shadow clones appear and pick the kids up on his back, and then he blasts off in the air, and the only thing that can be heard are the laughing kids. This leaves everyone looking at the blonde in a new way. They think they might have been wrong to him. It's sunset, and Naruto can be seen in the red light district going to the Raging Fox, getting reservations for him and Anko. And Naruto-sama, what can we do for you here? One of the waiters asked, bowing along with everyone else. I would like a reservation tomorrow night at 8 PM for me and Anko. Will that be okay? He asked, smiling at the respect he gets from the people. Of course, Naruto-sama will be all you need today. Yes it is. He says, and then walks away. Alright, time to get some training done. He then sees 2 people in green spandex with bowls, haircuts, and bushy eyebrows. Well, these guys look like they need another partner. Without further ado, he ran up next to them. Hello, our youthful friend, how can we help you today? The older one asks. Do you wish to bask in the springtime of youth with us? The younger one asks. Well, they are all still running. What is youth and springtime? Naruto asked, confused only to be surprised when they both stopped and looked at him in horror. Lead this an emergency, we must help our fellow comrade understand the joys of youth. Yes, Kai-sensei. The now named Lee says with fire in his eyes. The springtime of youth is when you train to better yourself in any way possible. You put in the effort to accomplish any goal by blood, sweat, and tears. It's about driving, it's about power, put in the work, and put in the hours. Might Guy says with Lee writing it all down in a notepad. Naruto then looks in understandment. Well, can I join you on your youthful training? I want to really feel the burn today. The 2 look in shock before it turns to excitement, and they cry youthful tears. Of course you can. They both shout. What is your name, my youthful friend? Guy asks with a thumbs up and sparkling teeth. My name is Naruto Uzumaki. Well, Naruto-kun, let's get to it by running 100 laps around the village, and then 500 push-ups, and then 500 sit-ups, then climb the monument with boulders on our back, then we have an all-out spar. Naruto loses a little color at all the workouts, only to be replaced with a grin, because he is getting what he wanted. Tower. All the Jonin sensei are in the Hokage office waiting for one extra Jonin, so they can finally start the meeting. While waiting, they often saw the trio of Guy, Lee, and Naruto running laps around the village, and to everyone's shock, he was keeping up with them, and that is an achievement in itself, because everyone knows how much stamina those two have. They even saw him flying with kids. Hokage-sama, what is that boy made of? Not only is he working out with those two, but he is flying kids around on his back. I can't even do that with my wind manipulation eat. Asuma said, slack-jawed along with the others except the slightly recovered Anko and healthy Kurenai. Sorry I was late, Hokage-sama. I saw kids flying in the sky and stayed inside because I thought the world was ending, said the one-eyed man. Only to be shocked when the old Kage shot him with a heavy kai that sent him on one knee and made everyone else nervous. Listen here Kakashi, I let your lateness slide for too long. Now you are a grown man, you need to grow up and get your shit together. When I call you, I want to hear, not whenever you feel like it. Do you understand me? Yes, Hokage-sama, the kneeling says. Then the kai vanished. Okay everyone, we are here to see who passed and who didn't. The leader of teams 1 to 6 failed. Kakashi, leader of team 7. Pass. Everyone is shocked. Explain, said the old Kage in an authoritative voice. Well, Sasuke Uchiha is worthy of his title Rookie of the Year. This gains a snort from Anko and Kurenai. Anyways, he shot a fireball at me as a cover for Sakura and the civilian ninja to flank me with weapons and try to the bells, but it didn't work and I tied them up, but because they worked together I passed them. Okay, that is a good next teammate, said looking at Kurenai. I gave my team a tracking test by telling them to find me. They worked together with Shino's bugs and Kiba's senses along with Hinata's bloodline to find me. Okay, we have a future tracker team. Next team 10. They looked at his son for his report. For my team I just told them they had to keep me still, and they used perfect teamwork to keep me still for the 5 seconds. As to be expected, those kids are basically siblings. Now Anko, can you please tell me how you ended up in a hospital and are so injured? Said, already having an idea. Well, you see, I kind of. She mumbled the last part with a blush and looked down. Anko, can you speak up? We didn't catch that last part, said the smiling Kurenai, being able to tease her friend for once. I said I got beat up there. I'm happy now. The blushing Anko said she couldn't believe what was happening to her thanks to that. Anko, are you telling me your students sent you to the hospital? Said Kakashi with one white eye. You guys didn't see him. He found me and started to shoot wind blades along with water blades at me. Then when I thought I could get away, he used a cold storm release circuit on me, and 18 beams came from the 3 shadow clones, and I was hit in the leg, arm, and shoulder. Said Anko trying to save face. But that's not all. When I tried to hit him from his blind spot, he made arms of lighting come from his back, and then tried to fry me on the spot. Wow, this kid is amazing. I see why if you put him on a solo team nobody would be able to keep up with him, said Asuma, a little jealous of the kid. Yeah, I just hope he doesn't end up like another Itachi, or we will have to put him down, said the serious Kakashi. That statement got different reactions from other people. The Jonin that still hates Naruto nodded in agreement, while the ones who liked him sent glares at the other occupants. While the Anko, Kurenai, sent kai to all of them, making them quiet. Kakashi watches what you say. I'll have you know as much of the things that have happened to him, as he is still willing to stay loyal to the village that does not deserve him, said the angry. Sorry. He puts his head down in shame. Now is there any more you would like to give up on what happened? Asked the Kage looking back at. Yes, he knocked me out using water-style water shockwave, and it was like a massive wave the size of fully grown trees, and he hit me with it, and I was tossed around in the water, and passed out. Wow, I should give him the water exercise of the second, so he can push his water manipulation even further. Hiruzen thought to himself. Well, everyone go home, this meeting is over. You go get some rest, you look like you could use it. They dismissed everyone. Outside they go their separate ways, while some stick together like Anko, Kurenai, Kakashi and Asuma, who looks like they want to ask some questions. How can I help you? Asuma asked Kurenai, looking at the nervous Asuma. Well, I wanted to know if you want to go out on a date tomorrow. Kurenai was shocked at what he said, because she too had feelings for him, but the feelings were going away, because she had noticed how sometimes he would look at her, and it was not how Naruto would look at her with love and playfulness. That made her blush. Asuma sees this, though she would say yes, but is surprised when she shakes her head no. Sorry, Asuma, I don't want to go on a date with you. I don't see you that way, said Kurenai, giving him a weak smile. Anko pumps her fist slightly. Oh, okay, maybe some other time. He then body flickers away, leaving only Kakashi reading his orange book, and the two women who are irritated at this. And what do you want? Asked Anko, giving him a heated glare. Now there's no need to be like that. I just want to know if you can tell me more about your student, he says, giving her a nice smile. And why would I give up information on him like that? Anko said, getting a little suspicious of the man along with Kurenai. Well, information is key to a ninja, and if you want to know more about him, you are gonna have to ask him yourself, because I will not be telling you. She is a little hostile. Fine. Is all he said. Then he disappeared in a puff of smoke. Well, now that he is gone, Night-chan, I am going on a date with Naruto-kun, she says, jumping in the surprised Kurenai's arms. What a date when? Asks Kurenai with wide eyes. Tomorrow, it's gonna be perfect because it's gonna be in the red light district, and that place loves him. Oh, I see, I hope you have fun, she says, trying to walk away, to not show Anko how sad she is. Look, Kurenai, just stop fighting it, and admit that you like him, and then you can also go on a date with him. I don't mind sharing with you. Anko says, pulling her back, causing Kurenai to blush at what she said. Really, you would do that for me? Said the red-faced Kurenai. Of course I would, right, Naruto-kun? Anko said, causing Kurenai to turn around to look for her Naruto-kun, only to hear the laughing Anko on the ground holding her stomach laughing at her. Oh, so you think this is funny? Well, I got something for you. Kurenai says, going through hand signs that make Anko take off running with Kurenai chasing her. Next morning, we can see Naruto running morning laps around the village in black ninja sandals and black pants with no shirt, causing all the girls he passes to stare at his body that is dripping with sweat. Next to him is his teacher Anko running with him in similar appearance, except she is on a black sport bar, causing her chest to bounce every time she runs. Okay, Anko-sensei, we have 50 more laps, and that 100, think you can keep up? I am going to be moving at speeds now, he says, challenging, causing her to smirk at him. Naruto-kun, I was doing this before you were even walking. The question is, can you keep up with me? She says, and takes off at speeds, only becoming a purple blur to those who can't keep up with her, only to be passed by a golden blur that sounded like it was laughing. Head back here, Gaki, is what she said before speeding up. They're neck and neck, but are joined by others like Might Guy with his famous smile, and his copy Rock Lee with the same smile. Hello, my youthful comrades, let us bath in the springtime of youth, he says loudly. The green duo then pulls ahead of Naruto and Anko, who smirk at the challenge before passing the two. Loser has to do 50 more laps, Naruto says before blasting off laughing. The green duo gets fire in their eyes and dash off after them. Naruto-kun, my eternal rival, I shall not lose, said Lee with fire. Way to go, Lee, let's. The ninja can barely see the people running through the village, only they can see them. It's the last lap, Anko-sensei held on, and we got this victory, said the sweet-covered Naruto, looking back at the panting Anko. Don't worry about me, just keep going, she says, barely being able to keep up with her students. No, we finished this together, he says, picking her up and putting her over his shoulder, getting a smack to the head. At least warn me next time, you ass, she says to him. This caused the blonde to chuckle. And you have a nice ass, he says, giving it a smack, causing her to blush. Just run, you perv. In the back, Might Guy picks up Rock Lee because he cannot keep up anymore. Lee, Naruto-kun is right, we finished together, he says, speeding up, and is right next to Naruto now. The two racers are neck and can see the finish line with a small crowd cheering them on. The two are about to cross the line, and time slows down watching the two pass, and they are neck and neck. They too pass the line and collapse, breathing hard, out of breath. The two sit up to look at the other ninja to ask who won. It was a tie, said one Genma with it in his mouth. Debriefing-sensei. We really bathed in the springtime of youth this morning, said the smiling blonde. Yes, Naruto-kun, we will have a rematch. Naruto then gets up with Anko still on his shoulder, and starts to walk off to the house of Anko, who had passed out due to how tired she was. Okay, goodbye guys, I'll see you around, he says, waving his hand. Later that day. Okay, Anko, no need to be nervous, it's just you and Naruto-kun going out on a date, you two hang out all the time, said Yuago Yuzuki, one of Anko's closest friends. Yay, I can always see you two having a good time around the village, said Hana Inizuka, another one of Anko's closest friends. You look fine, Anko, that dress suits you perfectly, said. Anko can be seen in a purple dress that goes down to her ankles with a high split on her left leg, giving her legs room to move and show. It is held up by two straps that lay on her shoulders. She has her hair down to her shoulders and hangs over her breasts that are visible due to the slit in the chest area. Are you sure? Maybe I should. She is cut off when a knock sounds at her door. All the girls quiet down and they push Anko to the door to open it. When she opens the door, they all see Naruto in a white button-up with an orange tie and slacks along with black dress shoes that Kasumi picked out for him. Wow, Anko-chan, you look beautiful. I think I can die in peace now, he said, giving her a warm smile. This makes all the girls blush hard. Thank you, Naruto-kun, you look really handsome as well. He grabs her hand and kisses it, making her blush more. Shall we go home? I want her back by 10, mister, and keep your hands to yourself, Kurenai says, yelling at him, only to be ignored when Naruto puts his hands on Anko butt, causing the girls to giggle at the red face. I swear I'm gonna kill him one day. We'll do it after I can get a shot at him, said Hana with a small blush on her face. The two girls whip their heads to her in surprise. Hana-chan, would you really date him? Asked Yugao. Yes, I can just sense it coming off him. He is alpha male, and there is no doubt about it, and not like my stupid brother who thinks he is just an alpha, and everyone should submit to him. She is a little heated. On the streets the two turn heads when they walk, and they can't help but smile at the shocked faces everyone has at seeing them. When they make it to the restaurant the two are escorted to the roof where it is just the two of them alone, and they converse, and get to know a little bit more about each other while laughing, and smiling the whole time while blushing at the teasing the two did towards each other. Well, Anko-chan, this has been a great night, and I hope we can do this some other time. He says holding her hand walking up to her house in the Forest of Death. Yes, Naruto-kun. I had a really good time tonight, but you should take Kurenai-chan. She also would like one, but won't say it. Anko says with her head on Naruto's shoulder, just enjoying being right next to him. We are here, and just in time, before anything bad could have happened to me. They both chuckle at that. The two just look at each other lovingly before gradually getting closer to each other until their lips meet for a kiss, and Naruto pulls Anko closer to him, while grabbing her by the waist making her gasp, and takes advantage by shoving his tongue in her mouth, showing who is in control while moving his hands to the slit in her dress, giving her nice thighs slow rubs. The two are interrupted when they hear a thud, and can see three girls on the floor with major nosebleeds. Well, good night, Anko-chan. He says, giving her one more kiss goodbye before he turns around and disappears in a water body flicker. Anko sighs happily and turns around and skips to her bedroom with a goofy smile on her face. When Naruto gets home he can see a tuft of orange hair in his bed sleeping peacefully. He strips to just a tank top and boxers and gets in bed next to her, and she rolls over on top of him whispering Naruto-kun in her sleep. He kisses her forehead making her smile in her sleep. Good night, Kasumi-chan. He then falls asleep with a smile on his face. 2 months later. It's been 2 months since Naruto had been put on a team with Anko. Speaking of Anko, she had never been so happy in her life. Even the villagers that would always insult her could not bring her down. Her relationship with Naruto had been going perfect. They would train together, and because of that she had also gotten a little stronger, so she could not beat Asuna, who used to be a guard for the fire daimyo. Naruto just seemed to get even stronger when he went to go ask for water scrolls from them, and the deals he got out of that was just amazing. Flashback. Hey old man, I need you to help me with something. Naruto says to the person behind the desk filling out paperwork. What would you need my help with, Naruto-kun? Asked the old man with the raised eyebrow, the trench coat wearing blonde. I wanted to know if you have any water exercise I could do so I can become better at water. Well, I do, but why would I give it to you? Who's only a genin? They said with an amused smirk. Oh, so that's how we are gonna play it. Naruto then walks around the office eyeing the old man until he goes over to the picture of Tobirama and eyed it for a second. You know, old man, I really admire the second. He is my favorite. He has done so much that he set the village on a good track after the death of the first. If I were, I would like to be just like him, but more badass. He says grinning. Hey, I know he has some water scrolls, let me have those. I would also like to get armor like his. I think it is really badass, and it would totally look dope on me. Well, I do, but what can I get out of this deal if I hand it over? Well, I can give you the secret to beating paperwork. As soon as he said that, the old man was on his knees begging him to tell him. Naruto-kun, please tell me, and I will give you anything. The man shakes Naruto violently. Okay, I would like all his scrolls and armor to be made just like his, but take the fur off the collar. Deal. They quickly told me how to beat it. Okay, shadow clones. The blonde said to the wide-eyed. Without further notice, hears and walks to the picture of the second, and moves the picture, and slides some blood onto the safe behind it. He then pulls out everything, and seals it into a bigger scroll, and hands it to Naruto, who is smiling. I'll have your armor ready as soon as possible. Now leave me, I have paper to finally defeat. Flashback over. Anko-sensei, what do you think the old man needs us for if he sent Kitty-chan after us? He asked his sensei, who giggled at what he called the cat. I don't know, but I was gonna give us a C-rank mission today anyways, so let's see what he wants. That's great, let's go. He says, picking her up, and flying to the office. Hokage office. They appear in a pillar of water in front of those who have a serious face. Team 11 ready for action. Anko says. I have a mission for you guys. It is an A-rank mission to help back up Team 7 who have requested backup in waves. They ran into Zabuza and the Demon Brothers, but those two have been dealt with by the Genin team. But they say Zabuza has another ninja with him, and I want you guys to go and help him. He says in a serious tone. Yes, Lord Old Man. Yes, Hokage-sama. The old man can't help but shake his head at Naruto. Naruto-kun, your special order has finished, and it is ready for battle. He said, smiling at the blonde throwing a scroll with it inside. Alright, I can test it out on this mission as well. He unseals the armor, and can't help but grin at it. It has blue battle armor similar to that of the second. Thank you old man, we will leave right away, but first Kitty-chan, can I get a good luck hug? He says, looking up at the ceiling only for a purple hair to drop from it, and walk up to him. I told you to stop calling me, that I am a grown woman, not some kitten. she says, walking into his open arms. Two had gotten close over the 2 months, and would often have sword duels, and she was surprised at how good he was, and she recognized his style, and instantly wanted to test it, but she could never beat him. Oh, don't be like that, kitten, you know you're going to miss me. He moved his hands to her ass, and grabbed a handful. Beep was the sound she made, and if it were not for the mask everyone would see how red-faced she was. She then pulled out her sword, and tried to cut him, but he grabbed Anko, and disappeared while everyone laughed at her. Gates of Konoha. Alright Naruto-kun, you have everything, she said, checking her pack. Yep, me and Kasumi-chan are ready to take on this mission. Naruto sat in his blue armor with Kasumi around his shoulder making a fur collar. Alright, let's go, she shouted, and jumped off in the forest. A paw smacked the top of his head. Let's go already, she's going to leave us behind. Okay geez, you're so bossy. He then follows after her, jumping next to her through the trees at speeds. Naruto and Anko could be seen jumping through the trees on their way to back up Team 7, who have requested immediate backup. They had been making good pace to the location, which was the bridge builder's house named Tazuna. If we keep this pace we can be at home by the end of the day, Naruto-kun, Anko says to her student, who was slightly behind her along with the fox on his neck. Okay Anko-sensei, I just hope we don't run into any trouble, he says, looking around. As if Kami heard his wish, a single ninja jumps in the duo's way. Way to go Naruto-kun, you just had to open your mouth, Anko says, sending Naruto a slight glare, who rubs the back of his head. Well, look what we have here, 2 tree huggers a little too far away from home, said the missing ninja with the crossed out headband with the leaf symbol. Aoi Rakusho, who has the legendary Rage no Ken made by the second, and a treasure of the leaf. Anko, is it you? They let the snake whore out of her cage. He laughs at those who were angry at his taunting, but not as angry as one Naruto Uzumaki. Shut up, you traitor, what are you even doing here? Don't tell me you are working with, she says while taking out a kunai. Yes, he told me to cover his tracks just in case they called back up, and boy was he right, I just didn't think they would send a snack after us. Why don't you join me, and you can be just like your master, and maybe even please me, your master. He gives her gaze filled with just lust in his eyes that makes her uneasy. His laughter is put to a halt when he is blasted with so much kai he can barely breathe or stand. I think I've heard enough come out of that mouth of yours, I think I will shut it forever, he says, pulling his moonlight sword out of his sheath. It has been decided, you are gonna be the first to die by my blade. As he says, that Aoi pulls out to hopefully defend himself, but he is still shaking. You can't beat me, I am invincible with them on my side, he shouts, charging at the blonde. Die, Naruto says in a cold tone, and swings his sword down, and Aoi is split in half, and a quarter mile of forest is also destroyed in his attack, leaving Anko wide-eyed. Naruto walks to Anko, and pulls her to him, and gives her a kiss full of love and passion that makes her lower area heat up. Nobody will touch you, you're mine, he says in her ear, making her shiver at how possessive he is over her. Okay, Naruto-kun. She is still shaken up at what just happened. Naruto goes, and picks up the Rage no Ken that is laying next to a white-eyed Aoi who died with terror in his eyes. Naruto then throws up on his body, killing his enemy so brutally. Why am I acting like this? He is not my first kill, he says with a shaken up voice. It's because when you killed you really didn't have time to focus on what you did, because there was so much going on you didn't even leave the ashes of that other guy, she says with a little laugh at the end. So cheer up, this is something you're gonna have to get used to, she says, giving a kiss to his cheek. Yes Naruto-kun, don't worry, we will be here to help you, the orange fox says on his shoulder, nuzzling his face, giving it a little lick. Yeah, what that fox just said. Only to freeze when she realized that the fox just talked. Naruto-kun. I know this fox just said, do you want to tell me about that? She says, giving him a sweet smile to be good. Oh Anko-chan, did I not tell you this is Kasumi-chan? He says with a nervous laugh, only when she gets in his face, smile still there. You mean to tell me that you have been training and walking around with the fox that attacked the village 13 years ago just sitting on your shoulder? Yes. Bonk. You idiot, why the hell didn't you tell me, and how do you know she can be trusted? She says, yelling in his face. Anko-chan, can you let me explain? The attack was not her fault, she was under, so none of that was her fault. She is a really nice person, although she can be a little bossy at times. Yes, he is right, I was not myself for a lack of better terms, that night. I am sorry, the vixen says a little sadly. Wait, this is a woman. Hot take that, you sexist pigs, she says, pumping a fist in the air with a grin on her face. But don't worry about the whole attacking the village thing. If you were being controlled, then don't worry about it, it was not your fault. Thank you Anko-chan. I will show you what I really look like when we get back to the bridge builder house, the fox says, happy. Will you have a human form? Asked Anko with stars in her eyes. Yes she does, and let me be the first to say she is just beautiful. She took my breath away. This makes the fox hide in Naruto's armor from embarrassment. Okay, we wasted enough time taking that guy's head, and we can get his bounty and sword for a bunch of money. But that done, the trio jumps off back into the trees to get to the location before anything else happens that can stop them from making it to their location. Dazuna's house. Sasuke and Sakura can be seen outside standing over the makeshift grave they made for their teammate, who died in the early run in the group. Had with Zabuza turns out, he was not able to dodge the cleave sword Zabuza had thrown at the death. Did not seem to affect Sasuke that much. But it was a different story for Sakura, who was crying at his death. Their sensei was recovering in a spare room in one of the rooms upstairs in the house. Come on Sakura, we have to go, we cannot be out here forever. But Sasuke-kun, don't you feel sad about our teammate? She says with a few tears in his eyes. No I don't, this is what happens when you are weak, so you better step it up, or you could end up just like him. He says uncaring to her. Would you be sad if I died, Sasuke-kun? She said hopefully. No. He says walking away, leaving the pink-haired girl to cry alone. She follows him silently back to the house, so they can welcome the team that comes to back them up, because they both know they could use any kind of help on this mission, because they already lost a fellow ninja, and Sakura was starting to take in all she has done since becoming a ninja. Maybe Sasuke-kun was correct, and I need to start training seriously now, and then. Maybe Sasuke-kun will fall in love with me, and we can help rebuild his clan. A little blood drops from her nose at the things she is thinking the two will do, while inner Sakura is shaking her head. Why don't you just leave that asshole alone, and focus on Naruto-kun? Did you see how handsome he has gotten these past 2 months? I could just. She is cut off by Sakura, who screams, and shakes her head to make her shut up. No? I don't see him like that, although I will admit he has gotten really handsome over these past 2 months. But you've seen how he has been holding hands with those purple-haired women he does not want to be with anymore. Yes, you are right, but you can at least be friends with him, and maybe he can help us with our training, so that way we can actually make something out of ourselves. Yes, I will be nicer to him, and apologize for all the things I did. She says with a little smile. While Sasuke just eyes her weirdly from all the facial faces she was making, he just shakes it off, and gets back to thinking of ways he can have Kakashi-sensei train him. 1 hour later. Finally, it feels like we have been running forever. I am so tired. The orange-tailed fox says, waving her front paws in exaggeration. What are you complaining about? You didn't even do anything, you were just on my shoulder the whole time. He says with a sweat drop on his head at her antics. But I still had to deal with you always jumping from tree to tree. Why did you do that instead of just flying us here? She gave him a questioning gaze. Well, akin to slipped my mind, I didn't think of it. He said, rubbing the back of his head. Only to be hit by both Anko and Kasumi. Naruto-kun sometimes can be as smart as a Nar, and then sometimes be dumber than a sack of rocks, said the snake mistress. Come on Kasumi-chan, let's leave him here. Anko said, opening her arms for the fox to jump into. Wait Kasumi-chan, how could you leave me out to dry like this? He says with waterfall tears coming out of his eyes. Get up you, let's just regroup with these fools, and get the mission over with. She says, dragging him with one of her tails. Knock knock. Anko says, hitting the door a couple times. Why do you say knock knock, while hitting the door? Naruto said, sweat dropping at her childish antics. Because it's fun, came the short reply from Anko. Coming. A female voice said from the other side of the door, and feet could be heard shuffling to the door. The door cracked open slightly, and a woman with long black hair with a dark blue tint and black eyes could be seen peeking her head out. Hello, how may I help you? She says with a kind smile, trying to ease her nervousness from the 2 humans and 1 fox on top of the purple-haired lady's head. We are Team 11, and we are the backup for Team 7. My name is Anko Mitarashi, and this is my student Naruto Uzumaki. A smack from a paw on her head makes her remember the orange fox on her head. Oh yeah, this is Kasumi-chan, our team mascot. The bite to her ear lets her know she didn't like that comment. Tsunami can't help but sweat drops on the human and fox butting heads and snots with each other. Okay, thank you for coming to help assist us. It seems they already lost a teammate on the way over here, and it seems it has affected the pink-haired girl named Sakura very much. They all look at her with shock. Wow, I didn't think we would already start losing classmates so fast. He then clenches his fist and grabs Anko's hand. I'll never let anything happen to her on my watch. Anko, seeing this, can't help but smile and thank Kami in her head for a good boyfriend. Kasumi-chan. Naruto calls the vixen using their mind link. Yes, Naruto-kun, replied the vixen with a question tone. Is it okay if we practice how to use some of your chakra? He asked. This catches her off guard because he has never asked for her power since she has been sealed in him. Okay Naruto-kun, but you really don't need my power. You are already able to beat every ninja in the village. You might only struggle with the old because of all the years of experience he has over you. Thank you Kasumi-chan, you are the best. He says, giving her a smile that makes her blush and turns her head, making him chuckle. May we come in now to talk to the others? Said Anko, talking about the tsunami. Oh yes, I am sorry, please come in. I was just about to start dinner. She says, giving them a warm smile. Oh, you were about to cook? That is great, I was getting really hungry as well with all the running we did to get here. He says, rubbing his stomach, walking into the house. Well, great, but before that, can one of you accompany me to the market? I would like some help. Don't worry about Tsunami-san, it would be my pleasure to accompany such a lovely lady to the market. This makes the mother smile, while Anko sends him a wink. Thank you for the compliment. The mother turns red-faced at what the handsome blonde said to her. What are you doing here, dead last? We don't need help from you, said one duck-butt Avenger. Naruto rolls his eyes at the pitiful Uchiha. Clearly you don't remember what I said last time someone called me. And without much more being said, Naruto kicks him in the face, leaving an imprint of his foot on his face. Naruto baka. But she stops when she remembered what she had said earlier, and just walks up to him, and gives him a weak punch in his blue armor, that barely does anything. Ouch, he says confused. We can talk later. I want to ask you something, she says looking at him sadly. Okay, just wake up your stupid sensei, and tell him we made it while I go with the lovely mother over here. Tsunami blushes again, and tries to hide her face with her hands. Father, I am leaving for the market with one of the ninjas. Okay, be safe, and get some for alcohol. A voice sounded from the backyard. Bye mom, be safe. A little boy with a bucket hat on his head says, giving her a small smile. He then looks at Naruto and snorts and runs away. Sorry about my son, he's just having a tough time right now, she says, giving Naruto a sad smile. Don't sweat it. Tsunami, let's just go get what you need, and then we can eat some food. Bye Naruto-kan, be safe. Waved Anko and the fox together. Streets wave. Wow, how long has this been going on now? Naruto asked about the tsunami, looking around at all the people on the street in the worst condition possible. It reminded him of how his younger life used to be growing up. It's been like this for a little over 2 years now, and it's only getting worse thanks to that dam. A little angry at how her country was suffering thanks to some idiot. A tap against Naruto's back pocket, and he can see what looks like a little girl running away with his wallet into an alley. Tsunami, someone just stole my wallet. I'll leave a clone with you to make sure you are alright. I will be back. Okay, Naruto just doesn't hurt the children. He then runs off after her into the alley, only to stop at what he sees. The black-haired girl is giving his money away to kids around her age, and telling to go buy some food. She then ran further down, and tossed his wallet in the trash, and went into what looks like a box under some rubble. He walks over to her to get a better view of the girl. A short and petite girl with light skin and purple eyes. Her hair is black, with several strands that reach to the bottom of her neck, and one bang that goes down the middle of her face to her chin. She hears him, and looks up at him with surprise, only to shake it off, and get in a makeshift fighting style. Naruto can't help but smile at her, and think to himself, oh yes, she has got a spark in her. But it also makes him a little sad at the fact that a girl only 9 has to fight, which means this is not the first time someone has found her. Hello there, you remember me, you just robbed me, and gave all my money away, he says, getting on one knee, getting eye to eye with the little girl. Yes I do, and it was for a good cause, she replied without even being feared. Naruto smiles even more at her attitude. Man, I said the same thing when I stole that food and gave it to Panda-chan at the orphanage. I hope she is doing well. He chuckles at her, and then sits down, much to her confusion. I am not going to do anything to you, okay? I did the same thing when I was your age, he says, giving her a sad smile makes her lower her defense a little bit. What are you talking about? I'm 9, so are you telling me you also used to live on the streets? She says, eyeing him. Yup. But you have on a leaf headband, you must have had a good life in your nice comfortable village that is said to be the strongest. She gives him a glare. He shakes his head at her. That's just what they say when people visit and only go to the rich part of the village, and they talk about how the will of fire and mighty heroes fought to make the village what it is now. Truth is that fire is slowly dying down and being corrupted, but that's why I am here to make the village what it used to be when everyone was happy and no one suffered. Why are you telling me this? She asks, sitting down in front of him. Because I was once like you, I too had to fight for my life, and started stealing, and giving what I had to those who needed it. All while getting nothing in return, but empty promises. She looks down at his words, because it is true. But I don't do it, just to get a thank you. These people need this, and I am just simply helping them. He smiles at her. What is your name, little girl? He asked, giving her a warm smile that made her feel comforted. Rukia. She says with pride, sticking her chest out a little bit. Making Naruto laugh at her, causing Rukia to pout, only to be replaced with a chuckle until she starts to laugh with him. If someone were to see this scene, it would look like a father and daughter having a nice time. My name is Naruto Uzumaki. He grins at her, and she does the same. Well, Rukia-chan, would you come with me, and let me help you for a change? Give her a fatherly smile that makes her feel comfortable again. Yes. She hesitantly takes his hand, hesitantly, not wanting this to be a trick. Only to be surprised when he pulls onto his neck, and he holds her legs, while she has her hand in his hair. Hey, what do you think you're doing? She says from the top of his head. I am going to take you shopping, Rukia-chan. We can't have you in those rags forever now, can we? This makes the black-haired girl surprised at this. But I thought I gave all your money away. She is a little sad at the last part. Ha, I have extra money in a seal I keep on my thumb. He unseals the money much to her shock. Naruto, what are seals, and how did you do that? Seals are an art that ninjas use to do battle, or in my case seal things away. You can do a whole bunch of things with seals. Wow, are you any good at using seals? She asked in a questioning tone. Am I any good? I'll have you know I am a seal master of the highest caliber. Cool, do you think you can teach me seals? She says a little shyly. Naruto looks up at her, and then grins. Oh, of course I can teach you seals. Do you have good handwriting? This makes her look down. No, I do not know how to write. I can only read. Ah, don't worry, I'll teach you everything. He gives a warm smile. Now what kind of clothes would you like to wear in Rukia-chan? I would like a kimono. I've always wanted one of those. Well then let's go get you one. He then starts to walk the streets of Wave looking for any stores that would have what he is looking for to get Rukia, while also giving away some of his foods to the people of Wave who need it. They eventually find a store, and they go in to see the poor state the store is in. Okay, Rukia-chan, go find something you want, and I'll tell you what looks good. She then runs off looking at the clothes. The storekeeper, a middle-aged man, whispers to Naruto. You know sir, I think it's really nice what you are doing for that young girl. She is always stealing from Gato's men, and giving people of Wave the food and money, and barely taking enough for herself. When she isn't lucky they would beat her up, but she would always try to fight back, but as a little girl she wasn't able to do much. The man says a little sadly. Naruto clenches his fist at what the man is telling him. I'll be damned if I let one of those bastards lay a finger on her. He thinks to himself, making his eyes change from ocean blue to blood red for a second. Hey Naruto, what do you think of this one? Does it look good on me? She is wearing a purple kimono with white snowflakes on it. A navy blue obi that wraps around her waist along with white slip-on sandals. It looks beautiful, you little snow princess. Naruto says to her, making her give him a bright smile that makes his eyes a little watery, but he shakes it off before anyone notices. He then walks to the cashier and gives him a little extra, which makes the man bow his head and thank him. Okay Rukia-chan, let's get you something to eat. He then picks her up and puts her on his shoulder again. What are we gonna eat, Naruto? Well, I am staying here for a mission, and this nice lady named Tsunami will be making food for us. A mission, she asks him. Yup, the leader of my village gave my team a mission to come out here, and I will go back home when it's done. He says, not noticing her small frown at his last statement. Hey, you want to help me catch some more food for the Tsunami, so I can show you a cool trick? Yes I do. She says, giving a smile again. Only to be surprised when Naruto jumps on top of the roof, and starts to jump from roof to roof. And then Naruto is really bumpy. She gets out flying up, and down on Naruto's shoulder. Okay, how about I fly then? He gives a foxy smile. You can't fly, that's impossible. Only to be shocked when Naruto takes off in the air, making her scream. Tazuna's house. Hello everyone, I am back. Said Tsunami, letting everyone know she is back. Finally, will you get started on dinner now? I'm hungry. The old drunk says, coming stumbling out of the kitchen. Hey, where's Naruto? Asked a copycat ninja Kakashi. Oh, someone stole his wallet, and he went after her, leaving a clone with me that just poofed in smoke. Well, I hope he hurries up. It's getting dark outside. Anko says worriedly. Mama, now I'm sure your little boyfriend can take care of himself. He is a big boy. Kakashi trying to tease Anko, only to have to dodge a snake that came flying at him. Everyone stopped when they could hear screaming and laughter coming from outside, and they all went outside, even the emo Inari. Only for the family and Team 7 to drop their jaws at what they are seeing. It's Naruto flying, doing tricks, and laughing at the girl on his back. He then flies down to the ground so they can go inside. Naruto, why would you do that if you were flying too fast? She then falls face first, only to get up and chase the laughing blonde around, trying to punch his lights out. Naruto-kun. The shout of a running Anko and Fox coming snapped them out of their fun. Hello Anko-chan, Kasumi-chan, everyone, okay. He says, getting a kiss from Anko and a lick from the fox. She just put her lips on your Naruto. She says, making a yuck face at what they were doing. It's called a kiss. You do it to people you love. He says to her with a grin. Everyone else is just watching them in confusion. You guys did see him flying around, right? A Pinket said. Everyone nods at that. Sasuke and Inari walk off to be emo to the sadness of the two girls. Later we can find everyone at the dinner table finishing the dinner of cooked fish and rice thanks to all the fish Naruto caught. Naruto was sitting at the end of the table with Rukia in his lap and Kasumi on his head again. Anko to his left looking at him, and Rukia with a blush thinking about how good father Naruto would be, is at the other end of the table looking at Naruto with a small smile, with Inari next to him who has a scowl. Tsunami across from him who has a look in her eyes at seeing her son. Team 7 is on the other side of the table. Okay guys, I have some important things to say about our mission. Kakashi says, closing his book looking at everyone. Zabuza is still alive, he did not die like we thought he did, and that hunter ninja is helping him, and he is most likely taking a week to recover like me. Tazuna's family gasps along with Team 7. Well, good thing you guys called us, or you would be in real trouble. Naruto says smirking, making Sasuke angry. We don't need you dead last. Sasuke covers his mouth quickly. He then sees Naruto grinning evilly. Don't worry dude, I can't get you right now. Sasuke sighs until he looks to the left, only to be kicked in the face by a shadow clone of Naruto which makes him, and the fox starts to laugh, while everyone else holds in their laughter a little bit. Sasuke-kun, are you okay? Sakura says, going over to him to help him, only to be pushed away. I don't need your help, weakling. He walks upstairs. I am going to bed. Well, I think we all should go to bed as well. Naruto says, picking up Rukia. Tsunami-chan, the dinner was great. Is there a place where we can sleep? She blushes at what he said. Yes, and thank you, allow me to show you where it is. He follows her along with Anko, and the fox which Kakashi eyes with a suspicious gaze, wondering if it is what he thinks it is. Naruto places Rukia in the feuding, and walks away only to stop when she gets up, and hugs him saying thank you. Naruto returns her hug with a smile. Naruto then walks out the room only to see smiling at him, who gives him a smirk. You're like a father to that girl, and I think she likes it. You do know that we are gonna have to leave this place, right? She tells him. He sighs at this. Why yes, I do know, and I think I will ask to adopt her, and come back with us to the leaf. But they don't know Rukia is listening to this, and is crying tears of happiness, and can't believe this. She then runs out, jumps on Naruto, and laughs. Yes, I would love to be your daughter, Papa. She is still crying, which makes Naruto also cry with happiness. Okay, my daughter. Anko and Kasumi watch this with smiles on their faces. Thanks for watching my video. Leave a like if you enjoyed my video, and also do consider subscribing to my channel for more awesome content. See you next time. Till then, sayonara.